Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Acting Inspector Dave Payton with the Edmonton Police Service Organized Crime Branch. Thank you for joining us again today to speak about another significant cash and firearms seizure by our Edmonton Drug and Gang Enforcement Section. As outlined in our media release in July 2022, our officers initiated an investigation after becoming aware of the drug trafficking activities of an Edmonton man. During the investigation, we discovered that two men were using a vacant Glenora residence to store and process a variety of controlled substances. On Wednesday, November 2nd, 2022, members of the EDGE team and the EPS tactical unit subsequently executed two search warrants, one at the vacant residence in Glenora and one at a residence in the Cameron Heights neighborhood. During these searches, officers located 8.5 kilograms of cocaine, 24 kilograms of cocaine buffing agent, more than 11,000 Xanax pills, oxycodone pills, cannabis gummies, and psilocybin, some of which are here in front of you today. In total, more than $930,000 worth of drugs and cash were seized. Additionally, our team seized 8 handguns and numerous high-capacity magazines with over 1,400 rounds of ammunition. Of the handguns seized, 2 were listed as stolen and 2 were smuggled into Canada, including one that has a 3D printed frame that was converted to function as fully automatic. Thanks to forensic testing, one of the smuggled guns has also been linked to November 2021 shooting in West Edmonton, where an unidentified male reportedly shot multiple rounds at an unknown target. On Thursday, February 2nd and Tuesday, February 7th, we arrested and charged 2 Edmonton men, aged 53 and 34, with more than 100 drug and firearm charges in relation to these searches. Throughout this investigation, several ties to drug trafficking activity in Saskatchewan were also noted, and the EPS subsequently began working closely with the North Battleford, Saskatchewan RCMP Gang Task Force. On Thursday, February 2nd, our EDGE tactical teams assisted the RCMP Task Force with a search warrant on another Glenora residence, which they will be speaking to media about soon. During this seizure, police learned that a 2-year-old child was living in the residence while the trafficking was taking place, and the EPS Child at Risk Response Team was called to assist. The child has since been placed in care of family. As a result of this search warrant, the EPS laid additional charges against the 34-year-old Edmonton man and a third man from North Battleford, Saskatchewan. We'd like to extend our thanks to the RCMP partners for their assistance with this investigation. The quantity of drugs, firearms, and ammunition seized during this investigation are significant, and we are pleased that together we were able to disrupt a sizable drug trafficking operation, remove these firearms from the street, and remove a child from a potentially dangerous situation. I'll now open the floor to any questions.
If you can clarify, so there was a second Glenora home that isn't related to this, or it is related, it's connected, but not directly to the Canada?
Yeah, so through the course of our investigation, that address was noted by our investigators. However, we weren't in a position to deal with it during the course of our investigation. However, through correspondence and working collaboratively with the RCMP, they were able to secure the grounds necessary to obtain a search warrant for that residence. No, I believe all the charges in both investigations have now been laid.
And you said the homes were vacant, or do you know what the?
No, so there was one residence that was vacant. Obviously, the 2 houses that are in that Glenora area are upscale residences, and then obviously an affluent area, but only one of those residences was vacant. Yeah, obviously it's a huge concern to law enforcement, and it makes it difficult to trace the origins of those firearms. This particular gun is also problematic in the fact that it's been put into a position where it can operate in fully automatic. It's our belief that that was done aftermarket in order to perhaps make the value of that weapon on the street, like the purchase value of that weapon on the street, higher. I know that that child is currently with other family members. That's about all that I'm aware of at this point.
We've had a few big drug busts like this, but this is also the second one I can think of where it was happening in plain sight of a child in recent months. Do you have a message for those who may be taking this on and who have kids living in that same house?
Yeah, I mean, it's particularly dangerous for I guess 2 reasons. Just their proximity to the drugs themselves. Obviously, these substances are very harmful, but also a large number of those home invasions that occur in the city, where shots are fired and people are injured. They're targeting drug houses, so it's definitely an awful circumstance to have children residing in.
The affluent nature of the neighborhood, is that a sign of decline in health?
I would say it's a sign of the level of the organization in which we were investigating, that they would have access to residences such as those.
So how big of a bust is this?
Yeah, it's a fairly large bust, no question about it. That's a lot of drugs that are on the table. The value comes in at, again, just under $1 million. I think what also kind of is noteworthy about this particular investigation is just the number of firearms. I mean, it's just a lot of weaponry. It's not common, but unfortunately, and we'll be speaking to it more in the coming weeks and days. The number of firearms that we are seizing in our drug investigations does seem to be increasing.
And how much does this take out of the system? Like, is this done, or is there more coming? Like, is this like a small piece of the puzzle in the grand scheme of the drug culture, and then we're coming with the investigation?
I would say our investigations always continue. There's always more happening in the background.
Just further to Paul's question, does a bus like this not only takes these drugs and does it off the street, but does it cause confusion and chaos within the ranks of the organization?
Yeah, absolutely. I think when we are able to have a significant seizure such as this, it obviously renders them in a vulnerable position. There's a lot of money that's on the table that they're out, as well as it certainly gives them pause in continue to conduct their activities. They need to change the way in which they operate up, changing supply lines, vehicles, so on and so forth. All that costs money. So yeah, I think it does significantly disrupt their activities, as well as those that are involved. Obviously, those individuals are kind of taken out of the fold and are no longer able to really participate in those activities.
In relation to this last, and some of the ones previous, the data with the Canadian departments, is there any relation with each, or are these two different entities?
Yeah, so two separate investigations. Obviously, when we had the conversation, I believe it was last week or the last media release, it was our intention to bring that one forward first. However, just the way in which this investigation unfolded with the RCMP able to conclude theirs at that time, that's why we're before you now with this today.
The two men that are charged, can you say if they're leaders or high up in the organization of this particular drug ring?
I wouldn't really be in a position to place where they're at in the organization.
There's also mention of the arson charge. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so on the second investigation, the one in which our EDGE unit executed the warrant at the other Glenora property, there was a number of illicit items inside that house, including illicit tobacco. My understanding was that there was up to 15 master cases of illegal cigarettes in the garage. And for whatever reason, prior to surrendering himself to police, the individual decided to set some of those boxes on fire.
And you said there was a gun that had been traced back to a shooting. Have there been charges in relation
No, there has not.
What kind of gun is it? Is it one of those here?
Yes, yeah. Unfortunately, I'm not able to tell you which one it is, but yeah, one of the guns that's on the table was used in that shooting. Yeah, definitely a handgun, yeah.